The sky above Nereth 9 burned with twin suns, their orange light washing the red plains in eternal dusk. Ash drifted down like snowflakes, remnants of 1,000 battles that had turned the world into a graveyard. I trudged across that wasteland, armor cracked and scorched, carrying nothing but my rifle and the weight of too many ghosts. The war between humanity and the Kareth Dominion had lasted nearly 2 decades. I'd lost friends, family, and a piece of myself in every engagement. But this mission wasn't about victory anymore. It was about survival. The dropship that brought my squad down had been torn apart mid-descent. I was the only survivor. My orders were simple: retrieve the Dominion's data core buried in the ruins of their old fortress. But after 3 days without contact from command, I wasn't sure if anyone even cared if I made it back. The fortress loomed ahead, ancient black spires rising like the fingers of a dead god. The Dominion had abandoned it years ago after orbital bombardments left it crippled. Yet sensors showed power still pulsing beneath the ruins. Something was alive down there. I moved through the main gate cautiously, rifle sweeping. My helmet's visor flickered with interference. The atmosphere was saturated with old radiation and the remnants of Dominion tech. Inside, everything was silent. No wind, no sound, just the faint hum of machinery that refused to die. That's when I saw her. She stepped out from the shadows, tall, lithe, and unmistakably Kareth. Her skin shimmered like molten copper under the dying suns, and her eyes glowed faintly gold, like twin embers in the dark. A long blade, organic and alive, unfurled from her arm, humming with bioluminescent veins. Her gaze fixed on me with quiet fury. "Human," she hissed in accented Terran. "You walk in the tomb of your own making." I froze. The translator embedded in my helmet flickered to life, echoing her words in my ear. "I'm not here to fight," I said slowly, lowering my rifle. "I just need the data core. Then I'll leave." Her blade pulsed brighter. "You think you can take what remains of us? You already stole our stars." She advanced, graceful and deadly, each step deliberate. I could feel the heat radiating from her weapon. It wasn't metal, but a living construct of Dominion biotechnology. I backed up a step, heart pounding. "Listen, I don't want to." She lunged. The world became a blur of motion. Her blade sang through the air, slicing my rifle clean in half. I barely managed to roll aside as she followed with a sweeping strike aimed at my neck. I hit the ground hard, my gauntlet scraping stone. My sidearm was gone, and my armor servos sparked with damage warnings. I raised my arm to shield myself, and that's when it happened. The tattoo on my forearm, the one I'd gotten years ago, in memory of my fallen squad, flared with light. It glowed blue. Not human blue. Kareth blue. She stopped mid-swing, her blade inches from my throat. Her eyes widened. "That mark," she whispered, voice trembling. "Where did you get it?" I stared at the light pulsing beneath my skin. The tattoo wasn't supposed to glow, it was just ink. But now it shimmered with a strange rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. I don't know," I stammered. "It's been there for years. It's just a symbol." Her expression shifted from rage to disbelief. "That symbol," she said softly, "belongs to the covenant of Seren. It is sacred to my kind. No human should bear it." I slowly lowered my arm. I had it done after the Battle of Signa 4. The medic who treated me was Dominion. She saved my life. I never saw her again. She drew the symbol on my skin before I left. The warrior's breath caught. "Describe her." "Silver eyes. Short white hair. A scar across her right cheek. Name was," I hesitated, "Seren." Her blade dissolved into shimmering dust. She took a step back as if struck. Seren was my sister, she whispered. Middle, the ruins and the revelation. We found shelter in the remains of a collapsed command hall. The roof had caved in long ago, and only the skeletal remains of Dominion banners hung from the walls. She sat across from me, blade retracted, watching the tattoo on my arm as if it were a ghost. My name is Ariathel Kareth, she said at last. Seren was sent to the human front lines years ago as part of a peace envoy. We were told she died. She didn't die, I replied quietly. She was captured, yes. But she wasn't a prisoner. She worked with us, taught our medics how to treat radiation poisoning after the Dominion strikes. When I was wounded, she kept me alive for 3 days in a crater before extraction ships arrived. Aria's gaze softened, but suspicion still lingered. Why would she mark you with our sigil? She said it meant enduring flame. That it would protect me when I had nothing left. For a moment, silence filled the hall. Then, to my shock, Aria bowed her head slightly. She believed in unity, she said quietly, even when both sides called her a traitor. We spent the next hours cautiously speaking, two enemies bound by a ghost. I learned that Aria had been stationed here for years, guarding what remained of their data core. It wasn't just military intel. It held the memory lattice of her people, their recorded consciousness, culture, and genetic archives. To lose it meant the extinction of the Dominion's history. And now, the Dominion was gone. Human bombardments had wiped out their fleets. The few survivors scattered across colonies lived as refugees, their species all but extinct. I thought I was protecting something worth saving, she murmured. But maybe I've just been guarding ashes. I looked around the crumbling chamber. Maybe what's worth saving isn't what's in that core, but the chance to start over. She gave a faint, bitter smile. Your kind has already taken everything. What more can you offer? Forgiveness, I said simply. For both of us. Her eyes flicked to my tattoo again. The glow had faded, leaving only faint luminescence beneath the skin. There's something inside you, she said suddenly. Something that doesn't belong. Before I could ask what she meant, she pressed a hand to my arm. Energy pulsed through her fingertips, and my vision exploded in blue light. I saw flashes, Seren's face, her voice whispering in a language I didn't understand. Then came pain, sharp, electric, and ancient. When it faded, I was on my knees. What the hell did you do? I gasped. Aria's expression was unreadable. The mark wasn't a tattoo. It was a seed, a genetic cipher. Seren infused it into your blood to carry the last code of our kind. She used you as a vessel to preserve us. I stared at her in shock. You mean, I've been carrying Dominion DNA? She nodded. The Covenant symbol was not just art. It's our language of life. When it glows, it means the code recognizes kin. Her voice broke. You are part of us now. Climax, the choice beneath the stars. We reached the core chamber deep beneath the fortress. The air hummed with static energy, the massive sphere of the Dominion's data lattice pulsing like a heartbeat. Aria approached the console, laying her hand on its surface. The lattice is decaying. In hours, it will collapse completely. I stepped forward. Can it be stabilized? She hesitated. Only with the genetic key. The one Seren placed in you. My pulse quickened. Then do it. Use me. Her eyes flicked up to mine. If I connect you, your human DNA will be rewritten. You will cease to be what you are. A cold knot formed in my stomach. And if we don't, our history will vanish forever. The silence stretched between us, heavy as the world's last heartbeat. Finally, I said, Then I guess I don't have much of a choice. She shook her head. You don't understand. This is not just sacrifice, it is transformation. You will become Kareth. You may not survive. I looked down at the faint glow on my arm. Your sisters saved me once. Maybe it's my turn to return the favor. Arya stared at me for a long moment, then placed a trembling hand against my chest. You humans, you burn yourselves to give light to others. I never understood it. She connected the neural link. Pain erupted through my body like liquid fire. Every cell screamed as Dominion nanites awakened, rewriting the structure of my DNA. My vision blurred, then cleared, revealing the world through new eyes, infrared hues, ultraviolet patterns, the electromagnetic pulse of every living thing. I felt the core reach out, tendrils of energy connecting to my mind, pulling memories, emotions, fragments of humanity and Dominion alike. Arya's voice echoed faintly. Hold on, human. I'm trying. The core flared blinding white, and for a moment, I wasn't just me anymore. I was thousands of voices, thousands of lives, interwoven across time. I saw Seren's face again, smiling through the storm. You kept the flame alive, she whispered. Then everything went dark, ending the glow beneath the skin. When I awoke, the fortress was quiet. The core chamber glowed softly, stable now. Arya knelt beside me, her expression unreadable. You survived, she said softly. I sat up slowly, my skin tingling. The glow from my arm had spread. Patterns like Dominion runes traced up my veins, pulsing faintly with life. What am I now?
I asked. Something new, she said.
A bridge between what was and what will be. The data core floated serenely behind her, humming with renewed energy. The lattice is saved, she continued. Our people live again in the archives. And because of you, they will remember not just us, but you. I smiled faintly. Then maybe there's hope for both sides. Arya looked at me long, then nodded. Perhaps peace begins with one who carries both worlds in his blood. We climbed to the surface together. The suns of Nereth 9 were setting, casting twin shadows across the plains. For the first time in years, the wind carried not ash, but warmth. She turned to me, her eyes softer now. Where will you go? Wherever there's someone left to save, I said. She stepped closer, brushing her fingers over the glowing mark on my arm. That flame will never fade. And before she turned to leave, she whispered, when I raised my blade, I saw an enemy. When your tattoo began to glow, I saw my sister. As the last light faded, I looked down at my arm, the covenant still pulsing faintly beneath my skin. And I realized something. Maybe Seren hadn't just saved me. Maybe she had planted the seed of a future neither species could have imagined. A future born not from conquest, but connection.